Okay, 7th graders, today we're talking about multiplying fractions, and instead of traditional notes, I decided to make a foldable, and I showed you how to fold your paper in class, so hopefully you still have that, and we will get started. So the first thing you need to do is label each of the flaps. The very first flap is just going to be a fraction times a fraction. The second flap or category is going to be a fraction times a whole number. The third category or flap is going to be a fraction times a mixed number. And then the fourth section or flap is a mixed number times a mixed number. So make sure you put your name on it like you see here. And to label it, you can label 1.02 notes. Go ahead and copy down each of those sections. Now, when you open your first section, labeled fraction times a fraction, you will see inside that I have already filled in exactly what goes inside. So, inside yours, you need to put the first step for multiplying a fraction times a fraction is to multiply the numerators. The second step is to multiply the denominators, and the last step is to reduce if you can. So if, for example, I have 1/6 times 3/8, I'm going to multiply 1 times 3, which is 3, multiply 6 times 8, which is 48, and then 3 and 48 can both be divided by 3, and I end up with 1/16 as my final answer. Alright, if you open the second flap, which is multiplying a fraction by a whole number, the steps for multiplying a fraction by a whole number are we first need to change the whole number into a fraction. So if I had 4/7, if I had 4/7 times 5, I would change the whole number into a fraction simply by writing it over 1, because 5 divided by 1 is still just 5. So any whole number I can change into a fraction by dividing by 1, because that doesn't change my number. We then multiply the numerators. 4 times 5 is 20. 7 times 1 is 7 when I multiply my denominators. And then I need to simplify it. 7 goes into 20 2 times. 7 times 2 is 14. So I have 6 left over out of 7. On the third flap, we are multiplying a fraction by a mixed number. And when we do that, when we multiply a fraction by a mixed number, we're going to first change the mixed number into an improper fraction. Excuse me. So if I have 5/6 times 3 2/3, the first thing I would do is change this improper fraction change this mixed number into an improper fraction. To do that, you'll remember I do 3 times 3 is 9, add the 2 on, which is 11/3. So you can see over here I have 5/6 times 11/3. So that's that done. Then we multiply the numerators. 5 times 11 is 55. Multiply the denominators. 6 times 3 is 18. And then we simplify again, and you'll see my division down here. 18 goes into 55 3 times, I get 54. So my answer is going to be 3 1/18, which you can see here. And on the very back of your foldable, we're multiplying a mixed number by a mixed number. So the first thing we have to do is change our mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 2.5 times 2.5. I do 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 halves. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 halves. Then I multiply my numerators, and I get 25. Then I multiply my denominators, I get 10, and then I reduce, 2 times 2 is 4. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention, I was looking at 2 times 5. Don't do that, do better than me. So 25 divided by 4 gives me 6, which would be 24, so I have 1/4 left over. I know I went rather quickly, so make sure you pause the video so that you can write down everything on each category, and we will practice multiplying fractions, whole numbers, and mixed numbers in class tomorrow. Have a great night.